Hey guys, so I'm back for another video. Super excited to be talking to you guys again because you're actually my favorite people in the world. So I just wanted to show you firstly, I love like stones and crystals and things like that. I just always kind of just liked them, and when my stepdad was sick, we actually got him loads of healing stones, and I just found them really cool and just helpful to get through, and it's just nice to have something physical to help you through stuff. So this one's actually really pretty. It's actually pyrite, and it's actually supposed to help with like mental clarity, emotional clarity, things like that. So with a lot of things that are going on in my life at the moment, it's really helpful for me. So yeah. Basically, you guys have all asked about anxiety, and just being a little bit selfish for 5 minutes, or a few minutes anyways. Anxiety is something that I personally have struggled with for a long time. It's a little bit different how I've struggled with it. It's not so obvious physically, like I don't sit there and tremble and shake, or I don't, I'm not a nervous person. I can be quite an outgoing person at times. And my anxiety is more up here in my head, and it's how I think, and I think it's more like social anxiety and situational anxiety, so it kind of depends where I am, who I'm with, how I'm feeling in myself and my confidence, to how my anxiety comes across. Even now I'm starting to get a little bit of anxiety because I'm like talking in front of a camera and I'm trying to get used to it. But yeah, anyways. So video on anxiety today, I wanted to talk to you guys about it because something really important that I think we all need to understand about anxiety is that anxiety is one of the mental health illnesses that really does take a lot of patience to get through. I've struggled with anxiety for a long time. I think when I first realized that it was anxiety, it was probably when I was like far out, maybe like 14, so maybe like 10 years now. And my anxiety is a lot of overthinking. It's a lot of overthinking. It's a lot of, am I good enough? It's a lot of it's to do with my self-worth, and even like doing dancing as a young girl is really quite hard. It does bring on a lot of anxiety because other girls win over you because they're shorter and littler and everyone loves them more, and you're like tall and graceful and awesome, but you want to be different, and then people don't accept it and you lose your confidence. And that's where my anxiety came from, is my self-worth and am I good enough and all this sort of stuff. So with anxiety, I just wanted you guys to know that the biggest thing that I can tell you about anxiety from my own experience and in general is you have to have patience. It's one of those mental health problems that you need to have patience with. I cannot stress it enough. Anxiety takes patience, and it takes a genuine want to get better. You can't just fix anxiety with medication because it's just a mask and it's just a temporary relief for that period of time in your life that you need the help. So when you actually decide you want to get help for anxiety, or to start the process of getting help and getting through having anxiety, you have to have patience. And if you don't have patience, like, life is going to be really challenging, like it has been for myself, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, it has been really challenging. But anxiety definitely is probably the number one mental health illness that you have to have patience with. You have to have patience with the process, because it's not an easy process to go through. Look, I've tried medications before. When you're not working, when you don't have a physical job, and you do have time off, medication can help, but a lot of anxiety medications are benzodiazepines, which are they make you drowsy. They make you really just in a state of zombie state. The only problem I found, I took myself off them very quickly, so I was only on an anti-anxiety medication for a short period of time because my job was so physical, and I had to obviously operate heavy machinery and drive cars, and I was feeling really tired, so I took myself off them, obviously with the guidance of a GP and a psychologist. But basically, with anxiety, I think you really need to feel the process of it. I think it's super important that you guys understand, and I've only just learned this really truly learned it, is that anxiety needs patience. It's not a quick fixing mental health issue, and I think that's really important for you guys to understand. Things with anxiety is like medication can help if you're not working, and maybe even if it's to go to sleep at night. Maybe you have anxiety about sleeping if you're scared of the dark, like me. I'm scared of the dark. It's really horrible, and I still sleep with a teddy bear. Anyways, so anxiety, I think it's such a long process, and you guys have to have patience, and you have to actually want help. You can't just think, oh, anxiety sucks, I really want to get rid of it, because it can end up becoming so much more than just anxiety, because it can get to where it's like a paranoia situation, and that's really, really horrible. Like, that's when I stopped myself and thought, shit, I actually need help, because my anxiety got to the point where I'm paranoid, because anxiety for me as well has come from a lot of trust issues in relationships, in friendships, family life, things like that. So my anxieties come from all these other triggers, and then I'm taking it into new relationships, new friendships, and I don't trust easy. I have so many anxiety issues, and when a partner wants to go out and have fun with their friends, like, that's when anxiety kicks in, and your chest gets tight, you can't breathe, and it's not that you don't trust that person, but you're anxious, because when you felt anxious last time, you got hurt. So it's like your body literally remembers the times that you've been anxious when something bad has happened, if that makes sense. And then so when there's a similar situation starting to happen, no matter how good of a person that person is, you're still going to get anxious over it. You're still going to get scared and nervous and unsettled, and your chest is going to get tight, it's going to get hard to breathe, and it's just really crap. So there's a few different types of anxiety. You've got your generalized anxiety. So some people are generally very anxious people. They move a lot, they tap, they can't keep still, things like that. So there's a few different types. And then there's obviously your social anxiety. I know a lot of people with social anxiety, so when they go out in public, they hate being around people. I don't like shopping. So shopping is a big trigger for me. Like, that's when my social anxiety comes in. I hate when I just think of what people are thinking about me when I'm around, and I'm like, what are they looking at me? Are they thinking I'm weird? Like, are they looking at my tattoos? Are they judging me? And the anxiety just builds up and up and up, and I just get really like out of breath. It's really, really horrible feeling, and I'm sure you guys totally understand that. Phobias can bring anxiety, so arachnophobia, claustrophobia, altophobia, all these other phobias that we all have, and they bring on bad anxiety. So if I see a spider, that's it, me done for the day, mic drop, and my day's over. I can't stand spiders. I can't stand clowns and balloons and escalators, elevators, confined spaces, like all these things. And if I'm ever in those situations, the anxiety is going to happen. But the thing with anxiety is that it's a temporary feeling. And if we can like train our brains, and we can repeat into our head so many times that this feeling that I'm feeling is temporary and it will pass, if we can train that into our brains and repeat that in our head, write on our hand, write it on a card in our pocket, and keep thinking it over and over again and saying it over and over again, we can get through it. Like, I promise you, we can all get through this together. We don't have to be anxious people forever, okay? I promise you, we will not. We will all get through it. We need the want to do it. We need patience to go through the process of it. We need to figure out what triggers our anxiety. We need to figure out what places trigger anxiety. We need to figure out how to battle that anxiety. The other thing is OCD. If you have OCD, anxiety is not fun. OCD is not fun. So if you need like all your perfumes lined up straight, if you need pencils straight on a desk, if you need color-coded clothing racks, color-coded cupboards, anxiety can be hard. And I recommend you living by yourself. If you have OCD that bad, live by yourself or live with another person that has OCD. Because I'm thinking that it could be really, really bad for you to live with someone that doesn't have OCD. Like, I'm a clean freak as well. So is Demi, but Demi's a little bit worse than me. Let's be realistic. She's a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy with her OCD, like super, super clean. But yeah, like, so there's obviously OCD. That triggers anxiety because things aren't the way that you want them to be or you need them to be in order for you to function properly. So when they're not that way, your anxiety gets set off. So it's another thing. It's kind of situational as well and environmental. Lastly, PTSD is something I've kind of really only got diagnosed with recently, fairly recently, from a few really horrendous things that's happened this year. I won't go into details about that, but basically there's a lot of triggers for me now with anxiety. There's colours, there's smells, there's types of cars, there's scars, like loads of things trigger me now with anxiety. And what I have to realize is that and what I'm trying to work through myself and with you guys is that we can get through this, and we have to want to get through it, and we have to remember that the feeling of anxiety is not permanent. It's literally a temporary part. So it's like, a great example of anxiety would be I don't know, if you almost run over a dog, right? This has happened to me before. So I've been driving down the road and I've seen a white fluffy dog run out in front of me, and I've slammed the brakes on so hard because I refuse to hit an animal. Like, refuse. I would rather accidentally run into a tree than hit a dog. So that's just me, and I can't even hit a kangaroo or an emu on a highway. I'd rather slam on or pull over. It's really bad. So basically, like, as you're going to hit the dog, once you slam on, it's that feeling, that intense feeling of, oh my God, I nearly hit a dog, oh crap, fuck. And you just get really panicked, chest is tight, your heart races, you get sweaty, you're like, whew, that was really bad. That is like what it's like with anxiety. And I think anxiety in that situation, what I'm trying to say is, anxiety is like a fear. So I've written a few notes down because I can't remember all the things I want to talk to you guys about. Anxiety is like a fear of something bad happening to you, to someone else. It's a fear of judgment. It's a fear of something. And this is what we have to remember. We have to all remember that these fears aren't true, okay? No one's judging us. We just have to love ourselves. Like, we really have to love ourselves. We have to remember that people are shit. People can be shit, all right? So us guys, we're a group of cool people, okay? We're all helping each other out and we're all being super positive and awesome together. But people can be shit. But we have to just push that aside and just ignore it, okay? We just have to see you later. Get out of my life, okay? So the fear of not being good enough, not being accepted, the fear of something bad happening, that's like when you're about to hit that dog and you stop and you're like, oh, shit, I didn't hit it, thank God. But it's that adrenaline rush, that's anxiety. And that's what happens, but it happens without triggers sometimes. And if we start feeling anxious, we have to tell ourselves, like, we have to go over in our head that this is temporary, nothing bad's gonna happen to me. And we just have to keep repeating that process in our head. If you don't work or you don't do a job that's needs you to be super active and super lively all the time, or if it is on the weekend when you have time off work, medication can help you a little bit, but I think it's a bit more of a crutch and it's not really delving into the problem as much. And that's why the only thing about anxiety that I wouldn't recommend, and I'm not a professional, guys, please remember that, my personal Shelby recommendation is don't treat anxiety with medication unless you really need it or you don't have a physical job, because otherwise it can just be like a band-aid over a bigger issue. What else have I got? Tapping techniques. I've only just started using them, and they're quite good for me. So if I go out and I feel anxious, there's tapping techniques. So tapping points are here, just above the eyebrow on that bone, on your temple, under your eyes here, just on the cleft of your lip here, on your chin, and then on your collarbone. So the other night I was out and I got really anxious and I just said, oh damn, I'm just gonna go to the toilet, I just feel a bit crap. And she's like, okay, no worries. Went to the toilet, sat there and just tapped on my head. And you can just do it on one side and you just want to do it with the tips of your fingers. Tapping on those points a few times, probably for 30 seconds. Now, I'm still learning these techniques, guys. So these aren't 100% like how you're supposed to do them, but 30 seconds in each spot. So I do here, 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 chin, and then your collarbones. And you can do it together, you can do it one at a time, all these things, but it just, when you can shut your mind off and just tap, I feel like it takes that anxiety out of your head and the anxiety goes into the movement of the hand and it taps those parts. And I think I wrote down actually why they do it. So it stimulates certain points in your body, and it can reduce stress, tension, and anxiety, and it can restore balance. So that's a really good, interesting one that I'm trying out at the moment, and I have actually found it's been helping. But all I can say with anxiety, guys, is that you need to have a lot of patience with it, because it can be triggered by a lot of things around you, and you need to talk to people about what triggers you. You need to know your triggers. You need to understand what makes you anxious. You need to try. We need to try, and with anxiety, we need to just try and remember that it is a temporary feeling. It is so temporary, and we will not feel anxious forever. And we have to believe that, like, wholeheartedly. We have to understand in ourselves that anxiety is not going to be there forever, guys. We can get through it. And when you go to the gym as well, that's another thing. Sorry, I have a little bit of like ADD, so I can like jump from topic to topic, and before I forget things, and I'm probably going to forget what I was just going to say. Gym. So going to the gym, I will actually go onto Google and look at the busiest times and the quietest times at the gym. And because I hate working out in front of people, I'll pick the least busiest time, because I go to a 24-hour gym. I'll pick the least busiest time, and if it's during the day, it's during the day. If it's during the night, I'll go at night. Go then. Then you don't have to worry about people watching you. Crank your music so you don't have to hear other things around you. Put yourself in better situations. But the best advice I can give you is be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself with anxiety, because it does require a lot of patience, and you have to want to get better, guys. We have to genuinely want to get better. We genuinely have to be like, yes, I want to get better. I don't want to be anxious forever. And there's a lot of repeating. Write stuff down. Anxiety is a temporary feeling. Write it down so many times, because if it comes out of your head onto paper, it stops you thinking about it. Best advice I can give you, be patient, talk to people. Don't use crutches. Actually get down to the nitty-gritty reasons as to why you have anxiety, or what makes you anxious, when you get anxious. Try and avoid situations. Don't go to the zoo and go into the nocturnal house at night and look at the spiders, because it's just going to be anxiety fest. It's just going to be horrible. I'm not going to get up in the middle of the night and go to the toilet. I'm just going to wait till the morning, because I'm scared of the dark, and that's just going to make me anxious if I have to get up and go to the toilet. So that's the best bit of advice that I can give you guys, is patience, persistence, and a genuine want. And it's about routine and continuing to do things that are always going to help you. We have to continuously better ourselves. We have to continuously try to love ourselves. We really, really do, guys. Yeah, I really, really hope that I've helped in this video. I just wanted this video to be so helpful, because I know what it's like to have anxiety, and I don't want you guys to be anxious. You comment on my post, and it makes me so happy that I'm actually able to make a difference in people's lives. That makes me so happy. I don't get paid for this. This is the best part of my day, is talking to people and helping them. And I genuinely feel like I'm having a conversation with people right now, and it's awesome. So yeah. Anyways, have a awesome day, night, wherever you are in the world. Have a great time. Remember that anxiety is temporary, and it will pass. That feeling, that initial feeling, and that time that you're anxious, it will pass, guys. Be patient with yourself. The process is long, but it's so worth it. If we can get through it, it will be worth it, and we will be happy, awesome people, okay? I know we all are. Be patient, love yourself, and I will talk to you next time. Hopefully you enjoyed my video. Oh, also me and Debbie have lots more videos coming out, so I'm pretty excited too. Totally different to this channel, but anyways, have a great time, guys, and love yourselves and everyone around you. Bye.